Try before we die. I'm Colin, and this is the Whiskey Review Show where we don't know what we're drinking, but we'll tell you what we're thinking. Derek!
Colin.
It's good to see you, man.
Good to see you too.
All right, so you're at the bar. What'd you do? Let the air out of Malcolm's tires or something?
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, good. I'll give you that $5 later.
Nice.
It's a whiskey review show, so we might as well find out what we're drinking. As everybody should know, of the hundreds of bottles of single malt Scotch whiskey in this bar, it's a random number generator that leads us to tonight's victim. And tonight we are going to break the seal on bottle number 124. It's right behind Derek. You know, I'm inclined to just go grab it. All right? So 98, 108, 118, 119, 120, 121, 122, 123, 124. We are going for, Derek, we are going for a Campbeltown. We're going for a Glen Scotia. I know I can imagine a couple of the guys on the crew are excited about this. This is the Glen Scotia Double Cask. Classic Campbeltown malt, 46% ABV, finished and matured American oak, and Pedro Jimenez sherry casks, or in shorthand, PX casks. Blah, 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 don't operate if you're pregnant. You know, we like to ruin everybody's good time, and it may cause health problems. The Glen Scotia, the double cask. Derek, I'm going to tell you something. Though what I'm about to say, I'm sure is true for you. It's true for me. I've never had a Glen Scotia.
I'm pretty sure I've never had one either.
I feel like that's a safe answer. Yes. All right, let's get her opened, and we'll go from there. This is it. Probably get canceled if I made my comment. All right, here we go. The Glen Scotia Campbeltown. Let's test your whiskey knowledge right now, Derek.
Uh-oh.
Tell me something you know about the Campbeltown region.
I can't think of anything.
Okay. It's one of the 6 regions of distillation. It's right around Islay, but it's a little more unique than the Islas. Really started to lose its designation as a region because of all the distilleries. Suddenly they dropped down to 2, but they're repopulating the distilleries. Known at times for some of their peat and some of their earthy tones. Here we go. The Glen Scotia, the double cask.
Lively.
Lively. The man says lively. All right. It had some life. I'll agree with you. I think you've made a note somewhere. You think this is sort of the bottle shape that may give us a glug glug.
Yeah, that bubble in the middle.
All right, let's find out. Good job, Derek. That was gluggy. The Glen Scotia, 46% double cask. American and what? American oak. Oh yeah, finished and matured in American oak, which will be bourbon cask, and finished in PX, Pedro Jimenez sherry cask. Rich and spicy. All right, we have a new book here. Just going to quickly take a look. Derek, let's see. Glen Scotia, that'll be a G. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H. Glen Morangi. Oh, the signet right there in front of me. M, R. If it's here, it's coming up. Glen Scotia, double cask. First one.
Nice.
Let's see what we can learn. Glen Scotia facility was purchased in 1924. When the Great Depression hit, he closed the distillery and locked the door, stowed the key, and drowned himself in the nearby loch. Well, that's unfortunate. I guess don't put all your eggs in one basket, right? It said his spirit remains, which is the water source. Though no word on whether he helps out with the stills. Glen Scotia passed among owners who operated intermittently for a time, used sparingly by its neighbor Springbank. In 2014, the Loch Lomond Group purchased the whole deal, and production picked up. The Double Cask, no age statement whiskey, ex-bourbon casks, finished in Pedro Jimenez. On the nose, vanilla cream, peaches, raisins, oatmeal cookies, mandarin oranges, and candied gingers. It opens significantly with water, with dried apricots, pears, and cardamom. The figs are strong with this one, intriguingly rich, dark notes, dry on the finish. Dark chocolate fudge, ginger, and coffee. It dries quickly, but keeps the rich chocolate figgy notes. I think this is a up to 5-star book, and they have given it 3 stars. The Glen Scotia. The Double Cask, right?
Yes.
The Double Cask. American bourbon, Pedro Jimenez sherry casks. Let's talk a little bit about color, Derek. Medium amber.
Okay. I was going with a light gold.
Light gold. I would argue I guess I like this word medium. I would go medium gold too. I don't have to be right. You don't have to be
Maybe
wrong.
it's just because I got the white light coming right through it that it looks a little lighter to me.
Yep.
When I turn it over here, it does look a little bit more medium.
Yep. I just want to come back to the bottle. I like this etching in the glass of this maritime scene, right? It's that classic whiskey bottle, but it does bring a little bit extra to the presentation here. Classic Campbeltown malt. Do you agree? Anything you want to notice about labeling or bottling that intrigues you?
Not having enough experience that you have with bottles, they all look interesting to me.
Yes, the Glen Scotia. Let's see what it smells like. I didn't get it. There we go. The sherry. I immediately pick up on it. Do you?
Yep, I get a little bit of the smoky too.
Yeah, that sherry is that first hit was just so present, that PX cask. It is such a familiar nosing. These sherry finishes, these American oak bourbon casks. It really is. It's like an old friend. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right? You're like, oh yeah, I know that one. Right? There was a TV show like that where you'd walk in where everybody knows your name. Be like, right? Yeah, this is a whiskey. Oh yeah, this is a sherry finished, nice, robust, slightly earthy nose. And so I'm trying to, and I've lost the page, and I don't feel like thumbing through the book again necessarily, but I feel like I just did pick up on a little hints of chocolate in there. So I don't know if you want to dig in there with your nose a little bit again. Think about like a rich fudge or something. It is appealing. Yeah. Would you agree on that?
Oh yeah, it definitely smells nice. Can't wait to taste it.
Right. Yeah, I'm excited to have a taste of this too. Again, it'd be my first Glen Scotia. I've read a lot. I've heard a lot online about them. People are really talking a lot about their releases. The Victorania. There's a 15-year-old we have here. There's an 18-year-old out there that I haven't gotten yet. Really been looking forward to trying this one.
Mm-hmm.
Any other thoughts you'd like to bring up around nose, color, presentation before we get into what does this taste like?
It's got some legs to it.
Oh. Oh, yeah. I see him. Absolutely, Derek. Good call. I'm always hopeful for a little bit of an oily whiskey.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right. Well, shall we see?
Yeah.
Cheers.
Cheers.
All right. I'm going to go right back to that word medium. That has medium. I can just watch this leg all the way from the top to the bottom.
Oh, yeah.
There is this medium oily to it as well. It's medium thick. It's medium viscous. It's not heavily,
Right.
but it's there. There's a little bit of oil in this whiskey. All right, let's talk a little bit more about flavor. The sherry is so present. I am picking up that chocolate, that fudge, absolutely. Not well versed in cardamom. Any flavors coming for you?
I can't find anything beyond the sherry and the chocolate. There's something there, but I can't tell you what it is I'm tasting.
The book was referencing oatmeal, cookies. It was talking a little bit about raisins. Do you know what a no-bake cookie is? Oatmeal, chocolate, peanut butter sort of put together and then put in the fridge.
Mm-hmm.
My wife makes them a lot, right?
Okay.
It's I don't want to say it's healthy, but I mean, it's got oatmeal.
Mm-hmm.
This has some of that quality. And this is why I'm going to bring it up. Now I'm going to ask you a real specific question here. Would you say this is a dry or a wet whiskey? And it's not a trick question because it's liquid and it has to be wet, right? Right. You know, does it have a wet finish or a dry finish? Think about your mouth. Think about as it's out of your mouth and what's left. Is it wet or is it dry?
I think it's dry.
I think you're right, right? And when you have a no-bake cookie, the oatmeal, sometimes the raisin, the chocolate, all blended together, right? It's a very dry finish. This is a very dry finished whiskey, right? Do you see what I'm getting at
Yes.
here? Right. It's not lingering. It's not lasting.
No, not at all.
Right. It's a very front-forward drink. And it ends. Yeah. Which is interesting given the sherry finish, given the medium oil, the way in which it's been put together, that it ends rather quickly, very dry. Right? Not spicy, not really burny.
No.
Just I just want to look at, there was something on the front of this bottle. Rich and spicy. You see, I'm not picking up on the spicy. Right?
No, not really, no.
Right, yeah. It may cause health problems. Breathing the air, everybody, will contribute to your demise. So pay no attention to the back of the bottle, right? I like this whiskey, right? Is there something you wish was here that you're not finding?
I don't know how best to answer that. 'Cause I haven't truly figured out what my favorite flavor of Scotch is, or even region. I just take them one at a time.
That's a great, honest answer, Derek. We're at 46% ABV, non-chill filtered. We have no note on coloration, no age statement. Another quiz for you, Derek. But first, a little more for me. We'll put it right back up here. What does no age statement mean in your own terms?
They decided not to put the age on the bottle, probably because they have one that is a fairly low age, but probably more that are a longer age, and they didn't want to classify it as that single lowest one that they're required to.
I love the word required, right? To put an age statement on the bottle, whatever whiskey's in that bottle, the age statement has to reflect the youngest whiskey in there. So they could have one barrel of 15-year-old whiskey in there and one barrel of 3-year-old whiskey in there. It has to be a 3-year-old. They could have 5 barrels of 15-year-old whiskey in there and 1 barrel of 3-year-old whiskey in there. They've fatted it together, all produced at the same place, everything done at the same distillery, Glen Scotia. Thus, it's a single malt, but it still would have to be a 3-year-old, right? Which might turn off the consumer. It shouldn't, but it might. And so oftentimes you'll see that no age statement because the flavor they were looking for came with the 3, the 7, the 15 put together, and they go bingo. But if we age it, it has to be the 3. So they don't. Good job. You're learning.
Oh, yeah.
I appreciate that. It's exciting to see. The Glen Scotia, the no age statement double cask, American bourbon, Pedro Jimenez sherry casks, dry, chocolate, oatmeal, fair, right? Quick finish. I agree with Rich. I don't agree with spicy.
Right.
The 46 ABV, it's not punching me. Is it punching you?
No.
Right. This drinks like a 40%. Right? And a 40%, which is, again, quiz number 3 for Derek. 40% is the...
Bare minimum to be considered Scotch.
Bare minimum. You're getting 100. You're passing the test, Derek. That's awesome. Right. And we didn't prepare for this, everybody. As we know, it's all random.
I've been watching my WTFs.
Yeah. Whiskey Today's Fact. Excellent. All right. Well, shall we see what the crew has in store for us on the whiteboard? It always makes me nervous. All right. Lift 'em high. Drain 'em dry to the guy who says, my turn to buy. The Glen Scotia double cask, Pedro Jimenez finished. I was expecting something smokier. I was expecting something longer in the finish, right? And I'm pleasantly surprised, maybe, and I'm going to go right back to this idea of the no-bake cookie. By this no-bake cookie whiskey, this oatmeal chocolate dry whiskey, right? I wish we had one. And this is one of those rare moments where upstairs in the refrigerator in the main house, there isn't a tray of no-bake cookies, which is often the case here. I think this would pair really well with a no-bake cookie. Yeah. Anything that you would think this would pair well with?
Well, obviously a nice fudge.
A nice fudge. Yeah. The Glen Scotia. I'm looking forward to trying more of these Campbeltown releases. It's exciting to have a whiskey from a distillery I've never tried before.
It's always a nice treat to try something new.
Agreed.